Hey guys, it's Callus. Just a few days ago, I uploaded both sets of the semifinals for ADV Open number 3, 2021, Pokemon Perfect, and they did not waste too much time playing the finals. It's already done, and I've got the set for you. You should know who's here. You probably shouldn't be watching this unless you already watched the semifinals, but E.G. Code on the bottom here is Jhonx, and then Mikmer, of course, is Mikmer. They're both, no matter what, qualified for the ADV Championship Tour at the end of the year by virtue of reaching these finals, but not only are they playing for the title and the trophy and all that, but they're also playing for more points, which leads to a better seed, which theoretically leads to an easier path in the actual championship tournament. So, as it is throughout the tour, this is going to be a best of 3 between Jhonx and Mikmer, and here is game 1. We're going to do however many games in this set, all in one video to try to avoid spoilers. Here's game 1. Jhonx on the bottom, like I said, E.G. Code. Mikmer on the top. These are two leads, Salamence and T-Tower, that are both threatening to each other. And as it turns out, Salamence is going to stay and go for EQ. Whiff as Skarm comes in. However, it does have lefties, no harm, no foul. Now, Jhonx is going to stay in and go for EQ again into the Skarm. That is a play that I think most players would not make. And some weird but paying off predictions here for Jhonx. Not only the EQ into the Skarm, which could have backfired in a huge way with just a straight up spike with no gain, but then he rock slides and he hits the Gengar that was unrevealed on the way in. So Jhonx, I don't know, high risk, high reward, but he's got himself a nice little start early on. He's got good chip on both the T-Tar and the Gengar from having the boldness to make the predictions. And it's going to go from bad to worse for Mikmer here as he gets his Skarm caught by a Magneton that basically is guaranteed to eat him here, even if it doesn't have Magnet. And it's just going to be the one layer of spikes only, Skarm down, so very good start. Oh man, disastrously bad start for Mikmer. Alright, well, that was a game. The critical hit from the Magneton there, Thunderbolt, is going to prompt Mikmer to simply concede. That took less time than my intro to the video. One-sided beating there, some good plays followed by some good luck for Jhonx, and that's going to be a fast concession. Mikmer is going to be down a game just like that, and in all of 2 minutes, Jhonx, E.G. Code, finds himself one game away from being our champion. Not a lot to say about that one. Kind of speaks for itself. Let's go to game 2. Jhonx again on the bottom, Mikmer again on the top. Vaporeon and T-Tower respectively. T-Tower is the same lead Mikmer had before. He's going to switch out of the Vaporeon. Hydro Pump comes down. It's going to connect with Zapdos. He's going to stay in, eat a Thunderbolt here, and he's going to retaliate with Ice Beam, but they're both alive, and the faster Zapdos here has the edge until the Pinch Berry comes in to make Vaporeon faster, and he's actually going to therefore kill the Zapdos with Ice Beam. The lead once again for Jhonx. However, Mach Punch is going to call it even, bring us to 5-5. Here's the Heracross follow-up, which we note is not gaining lefties. Going to sub up as Fori comes in. Now he's going to dance up, so Hera getting very set up here, and Mikmer apparently not worried about it, just content to spike up. There's dance number 2, and there's a boom, but Mikmer better have, I guess, a Dugtrio or something faster here. He subs and Megahorn respectively, fine. Sand ticking on the Heracross, which will eventually eat a Pinch Berry. Sub and sub, so I guess eventually is now. He's in the red, he's going to eat the Salic Berry. And he's going to have to kill the Flygon. The problem is the sub is going to keep happening here over and over and over again for Mikmer. So basically he has successfully sand stalled the Heracross out. Now granted, every time he does this, he has to get the Flygon lower and lower by repeatedly using Substitute. But this is going to be an effective answer to what was otherwise a bit of a difficult problem. And the Heracross is going to go down without cleaning up the game as it potentially could have here. That being said, it does leave us in a situation that Jhonx is probably advantaged in. Now, he does take a lot on the Celebi on the way out, so maybe it is relatively even now. Jhonx is a big fan of Pinch Berries in ADV. He just Salic Berry on all the things. The Vaporeon, the Heracross, and the Celebi all evidently have Salic Berry. Hell, while we're at it with the theme team, maybe this Metagross does too. Nope, it has a Lumberry. But Pinch Berry King Jhonx in the house, showing his own unique style, his creative style of ADV. We saw some creativity from him in the semifinal set as well. So He's doing things his own way, and I mean, he's up a game in the finals, so he's obviously getting results. Who is anybody else to judge? Spore is going to put the meta to sleep. It is at +1, which is why it chunked the Breloom so hard. But Mikmer is going to have to find a way out of this, which is probably just on the back of the Rachi. Otherwise, it's just going to be a 2-0 win for Jhonx. Here comes the attempted sacrifice of the Celebi. Spore connects with it, but it doesn't matter because Sand finishes it off. Now Magneton going to come in. We find ourselves quickly in a 2-2. Aerodactyl evidently is afraid of the Breloom. I mean, does Mach Punch do that much? Jhonx apparently says that he thought he was faster. I don't know why he would think Magneton is faster than Breloom. That doesn't make any sense to me, but it gets pretty simple now. All you can do if your Jhonx is click EQ, and he presumably needs a crit here. I think Jhonx butchered this late game pretty badly. The Earthquake there does a ton, but like I said, he would have needed a crit, and he doesn't get it. And Mikmer's going to take down game 2. You see the best and the worst of Jhonx with this series so far. You see the creativity, the unpredictability, his own personal style, his own personal touches, and that's very cool. It's always great to see innovation in ADV. But on the other hand, sometimes, like in this late game scenario that I feel that he made a couple of mistakes and definitely butchered the sequencing, you can also see his inexperience and that he's not quite an expert in this tier just yet, even though it's awesome that he is exploring it so much and willing to get creative. So you kind of see it both ways here. This very well could have been a 2-0 had Jhonx played that late game a little tighter, but he didn't, and Mikmer manages to pull it out barely with the 18% Rachi, the last and only thing standing, and that's going to send us to a decisive Game 3. Winner here is the champ. Here's the third game. For the third time, Jhonx says E.G. Code is on the bottom, Mikmer's on the top. They both have a Zapdos. They both go Thunderbolt. And heavier damage coming from Mikmer is doing 56%. And that'll be enough to kill, in fact. T-Tar comes in, however, to finish off the opposing Zapdos, which, interestingly, I believe... Yeah, Jhonx, his Zapdos was not holding lefties. Maybe another Pinchberry, since he seems so fond of those. Calm Mind and Ice Beam now. This could get ugly either way. There's Giga, which I kind of suspected. That's going to keep him out of Ice Beam range. However, he's very, very far from being able to kill the Coon with a follow-up Giga, unless he randomly crits him here, which he does not, and the follow-up Ice Beam, which is a pretty obvious move for Mikmer, is going to be enough to do the trick. However, there is a Dugtrio in the back, so it's going to be a revenge kill. This game going very quickly. 7 turns in. We've got 4 things dead already. 4-4 game. Swampert now for both players. Substitute for Mikmer, probably an N-Pert, which is the first thing that always comes to mind when you see sub. He's going to go for Hydro Pump. It's going to do a nice clean 50%. But it might be an N-Pert for Jhonx as well, and it's a bad time for a Hydro Pump miss from Mikmer. And that's going to be an even bigger Hydro Pump in Torrent range, taking out the opposing Swampert. So now Jhonx retakes his lead 4-3. Hidden Power, Grass, no. It looks like HP Ice here. But the Hydro Pump is going to do a ton in Torrent range and not kill, and Hidden Power, even though it's not Grass, will be good enough. We've got ourselves a quick 3-3. Here's the Dugtrio pass. There's Dragon Dance, so depending on the EVs and natures of both of these, this could go really well or really not well for either of them. Second Dance might be enough to just end this game, depending on what Mikmer has on the back. Has to go to his own T-Tar here. He might simply be swept. No. Earthquake just short. 98% that's going to do. Well, man, this might come down to Hidden Power. Aw. That was interesting. I was going to say, like, it really depends on the EVs. It could have potentially depended there on what the last one was for Jhonx. I was kind of hoping the Jolteon killed the Dugtrio there, which is unlikely with the way that Dugtrios are EV these days. Just for the sake of seeing what the last poke was for Jhonx, if it were hypothetically something like, I mean, I guess it would specifically have to be something like a Salamence, a Flygon, a Starmie. That would actually lead to Jolteon being able to clean it up. And if it were just a random water that isn't one-hit KO'd, like my Lotic or whatever, that's even more exciting because then Mikmer would need the crit or the para full para, so that makes it interesting. But as it turns out, Jhonx never does show his last poke. His Dugtrio survives Hidden Power, which, like I said, is basically almost certain these days because most people put some amount of bulk, and often it is actually specifically special defense into their Dugs these days. So the Jolteon comes up just short. And with that, Jhonx is going to be our champion. He is bold, creative, a little bit insane, and definitely a little bit green still, but he is making great strides in ADV. And this is going to be, I believe, his first ADV tournament win. And this is going to be the second place finish for Mikmer in one of these opens this season. He goes deep in all of them. He's a very consistent player, but he's not able yet to clutch out any of them. But it does feel like it's a matter of time. It feels like it's a when, not an if. Mikmer's been so close over and over again. But today is Jhonx's day. He takes the set 2-1. He's the champ. He's going to earn himself a lot of ADV championship points and find himself in a good position for the ADV championship tour at the end of the year. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and probably my next video is going to be Fight Night on Sunday. So enjoy this. Thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys there.